ஃப்ரெண்ட்ஸ், இந்த பொக்காஹாண்டோஸோட இந்த புக்கில் வந்து நம்ம தேர்ட் பார்ட் பார்த்துடலாம் வாங்க. மீன்வைல் Radcliffe was also preparing his men for battle. "We are going to eliminate these savages once and for all," he cried. "Then the gold will be ours for the taking." Smith tried to convince Radcliffe that there was no gold. "The only gold they have is golden food," he said, showing Radcliffe an ear of corn. "We can learn so much from them. After all, this is their land. This is my hand. This is their land. This is my land," roared Radcliffe. "I make the laws, and anyone who so much as looks at an Indian without killing him will be tried for treason and hanged." That night, as Pocahontas was on her way to meet Smith, Nakoma surprised her at the settlement wall. "Don't go to him, Pocahontas," Nakoma pleaded. "He is one of them. You are turning your back on your own people." "I am trying to help my people," Pocahontas replied. Slipping into the forest, she felt said that her friend did not understand. Nakoma, worried for her friend's safety, went to Kokum and told him where Pocahontas had gone. Kokum decided to follow Pocahontas. While their people prepared for battle, Smith and Pocahontas met at the enchanted glade. "Maybe it's not too late," said Pocahontas. "Come with me and talk to my father." "I have already tried talking to my men," said Smith. It's no use." Suddenly Percy and Miko rushed into the glade. Smith and Pocahontas tried to separate them, but the two animals continued to chase each other furiously. See," said Smith sadly. "Once two sides want to fight, nothing can stop them." Just then Grandmother Willow dipped and branch into the water. "Look at the ripples," she said. "So small at first, but see how they grow. Someone has to start them." Smith understood. "All right," he told Pocahontas. "Let's go and talk to your father." Delighted, Pocahontas threw her arms round Smith and the two shared a tender kiss. Just at the moment, Kokum sprang from his hiding place in the forest. He pulled the couple apart and lunged at Smith with a knife. As Pocahontas looked on her horror, the two men wrestled for control of Kokum's knife. Suddenly, a young settler named Thomas, who had followed Smith, emerged from the bushes. Seeing Kokum with a knife held above Smith's body, Thomas fired his musket. Fatally wounded the brave warrior As Cockham fell, his hand caught on the necklace Pocahontas had been going to wear at their wedding. It tumbled to the ground near his now lifeless body. Thomas get out of here, yelled Smith as a party of warriors des- descending descended on them. Pocahontas watched in disbelief as Smith was dragged away. Accused of murdering Cockham back at the Indian village, Chief Powhatan condemned Smith to die at sunrise. When Pocahontas protested, her father words were harsh. Because of your foolishness, Cockham is dead, he told her. You have shamed your father. Smith. Smith was tied up in a hut where he was to remain alone until morning. But Pocahontas was desperate to see him and managed to persuade Nakoma to help her to sneak past the guards. It would have been better if we had never met Pocahontas, told Smith sadly. Then none of this would have happened. I did rather die tomorrow than live 100 years without knowing you, Smith insisted. I can't leave you, whispered Pocahontas. You never will, Smith replied. No matter what happens, I will always be with you forever. Meanwhile, Thomas had raced back to the settlement as fast as his legs would carry him. The savages, he shouted as he reached the clearing. They have captured Smith. You see, cried Ratcliffe. Smith tried to befriend befriend the savages, and look what has happened to him. I say it's time to kill them all. The rescue our courageous comrade. Filled with sorrow, Pocahontas went to the en- enchanted glade. I thought my dream was leading me to Smith, she told Grandmother Willow, but I was wrong. Just then, Miko handled Smith's compass to Pocahontas. He had retrieved it from its hiding place. As Pocahontas looked at the compass, the arrow began to spin. Spinning arrow, she gasped, it's the spinning arrow from my dream. I have to go back. I have to go back before it's too late. As the Indians gathered to witness Smith's execution, the settlers advanced ready to fire. Then, just as Chief Powhatan raised his club over Smith's head, Pocahontas appeared. No, she cried, throwing herself over Smith to protect him. If you kill him, you will have to kill me too. Everyone started in stunned silence as Pocahontas spoke. Look around you. This is where the path of hatred has brought us. She turned to Chief Powhatan. You have the power to change that. Father, she said. Chief Powhatan listened and heard the wisdom in his daughter's words. Pocahontas speaks with courage and understanding. He said, from this day forever, there will be no more killing. Let us be guided to a place of peace. Slowly, the Indian warriors put down their weapons. Now, our chantsmen yelled Radcliffe fire, but the settlers, touched by Pocahontas' words, finally saw their governors greed and one by one lowered their muskets in desperation. Radcliffe grabbed a gun and fired at Chief Austin himself. Seeing what was about to happen, Smith threw himself in front of the chief and knocked him out of the way. The bullet beat for Chief Powhatan hit Smith instantly. Settlers were enraged. Get Radcliffe, they cried, lunging forward. The governor was quickly put in chains and led back to the ship. A few days later, Smith lay on a stretcher as the Susan Constant prepared to sail back to England. Pocahontas knelt by Smith's side. She knew that he had to return to England if he was to survive, but her heart was breaking at the thought of his leaving. Here, she said, handing him a small pouch of powder. It's from the bark of grandmother willow. It will help with the pain. Chief Powhatan approached and placed his cloak over Smith's body as a gesture of friendship. You are always welcome among our people, he said softly. Thank you, my brother. Just then, Miko, Flit, and Percy came up to Pocahontas, carrying her mother necklace, which they lovingly placed around Pocahontas' neck. Smith gazed up at Pocahontas. Come with me back to London, he said. On the shore, the Indians were sharing food with the settlers. As she watched them, Pocahontas knew she must stay and help to forge a bond between the two sides. This was her true path. I cannot come with you, she said. Then I will stay here with you. Smith told her. No, you have to go back, Pocahontas said softly. Then Pocahontas watched as Smith was placed in a small boat and rowed towards the Susan Constant. Later, Pocahontas stood on a cliff top, and the wind swirled around her. She watched as that same wind caught the sails of the Susan Constant and carried Smith out to the open sea. Thought she was sad, Pocahontas knew she and Smith would never be separated. They would live in each other's hearts forever. The story வந்து முடிஞ்சது. The life of Pocahontas, a free-spirit young Indian girl, is changed forever when she meets and falls in love with Captain John Smith. Can they bring peace and understanding to their nation, or will fear and hatred keep the two lovers apart forever? இந்த ஸ்டோரி உங்களுக்கு பிடிச்சிருந்ததுன்னா லைக் பண்ணுங்கள், ஷேர் பண்ணுங்கள், மறக்காமல் சப்ஸ்கிரைப் பண்ண மறந்துடாதீங்க. பாய்.